Good morning, everyone. My mom used to say, it's good to be the first person to speak out against something. Just don't be the first Asian to speak out against something. But in this case, sorry, Ma, I don't see anyone else doing this yet, so I figure I will go first. So last Friday, on the 30th anniversary of the Polytechnic massacre, the new public safety minister Bill Blair announced that he would propose measures to buy back and ban all the military-style assault rifles and give all the municipal governments the power to ban handguns. And this video is not intended for gun owners. Rather, I'm trying to reach out to the average voters who don't own guns, who don't have a stake in this, who don't even care what Bill Blair is gonna do. I am simply trying to explain why this is a wrong move and why this is a bad policy that will cost a lot of lives. Right, first of all, yay, disclaimer. Everything I say in this video can be independently verified. And as I edit the video, I will also include the sources, to the best of my abilities in the video's description. But everything I say in this video, I encourage you to do your own research and find out where the numbers, where the data came from. And first of all, let's look at the big picture. So back in May, CBC News did a whole series on gun and violence problems that we've been seeing on our side of the border. And I think it was the last part of the series. They looked at the gangland shooting problems, and they pretty much concluded that the surge in gun violence that we've been seeing in this country, almost all of it can be attributed to gangland violence. In other words, gangbangers shooting each other up. And what would a gangbanger use? Well, according to the data, overwhelmingly they use handguns, and especially handguns smuggled in from the States. The overwhelming majority of illegal handguns would end up in the hands of these gangbangers, and the gangbangers will use this, again, illegal guns to shoot each other up, including the shooting in the Danforth district. The perpetrator, whose name I shall not mention because I don't want him to have what he wanted, right? And he also used an illegal handgun smuggled in from the US. According to the Globe and Mail article published last Friday, again, they are quoting data from the Canadian Femicide Observatory for Justice and Accountability. In the case of domestic violence, which will be another big chunk of the gun homicide data, well, a lot of this will be done by hunting rifles and shotguns in the rural setting. Now, knowing the gangbanger and domestic violence side of things, what is good old Bill proposing to ban? He's proposing to ban guns like this. Guns that are the so-called military-style assault weapons. Okay. And I will not get into the technical details because that's not of interest to you, but rather, please allow me to explain why you should still care in this case. Alright, reason number one, why should you care? Well, because this is going to be a bad policy that is going to cost you and me and all Canadian taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars while achieving nothing practical other than virtue signaling and stroking good old Bill's ego. Okay? And please allow me to elaborate on this further. Alright, first of all, let's talk about the cost. Right? So there are about there are about 250,000 of this military style guns in circulation, and assuming that Bill is going to buy them back at the fair market price. Let's give good old Bill a discount. Let's say $800 per piece, and there are 250,000 out there, so it's going to cost for the buyback alone $200 million, and that figure does not include the cost for the surgeon staff to collect, guard, categorize, and destroy these guns, and also the cost on the collection, and the cost on storage, and the cost on transportation, and the cost on destroying these guns. So all the costs combined, I can foresee that this $200 million figure could easily balloon into the 400, even 500 million dollar range. That's not crazy talk. Okay? And frankly, this could be money much better spent on cracking down on smuggle guns, giving more resources to frontline law enforcement officers, giving more resources to youth shelter and organizations that work with at-risk youth to stop them from entering the gang life to begin with. And in addition, there are already lots of high-ranking police officials, frontline officers, people who run the NGOs, who work with at-risk youth. They have already come out on record, either on TV interview or radio interview, saying that this buyback measure would be a waste of money, and this money could be much better invested in resources for frontline officers and resources for NGOs and youth shelters. Okay. And I'm not going to paraphrase what they have already elaborated well, but I do encourage you to find these interviews and determine for yourself why this buyback program is a bad idea. Another aspect of this will be the reason number 2 why you should care, because if we don't get this right, people will keep dying. As simple as that. Right? So reason number 1, we talked about the cost, and reason number 2, we'll talk about the cost in terms of lives not saved. So based on what we've been seeing in the news these days, there's simply too much emphasis on the guns, and not enough emphasis on why someone would take up that kind of lifestyle. Right? And to me, when I coach engineering students, I've always emphasized that if you want to get to the root cause of a problem, ask yourself why and why and why. And gun violence is a complicated social economical issue. This buyback program, it's a band-aid virtue signaling sticker. It does not get to the complicated root cause of the problem. Anyone can virtue signal. It's easy to do, but not everyone can really find the cause of the problem and come up with an effective solution. So before we're honestly ready to ask ourselves, why is this happening, and really honestly tackle the problem, illegal guns will keep coming in and people will keep getting shot. And that's the cause of virtue signaling and not getting to the root cause of the problem. And finally, there's the cost to the gun owners. Well, you may ask, well, why is that? You guys are getting paid fair market value anyways. Well, to be honest, from the average prices I've been seeing, $800, that's kind of low for an average price. Also, I may have, well, this gun may have cost me, say, $700-800, well, to buy, but I could have dropped another easily, another $600-700 in accessories, in optics, and if I'm forced to sell this gun back to the government, I'm stuck with all these accessories that I cannot use and cannot sell. So it's the cost to the gun owners. So this buyback program, it's wasting your tax dollars and my tax dollars. It's not saving any lives, and it's in plain terms screwing over a lot of gun owners. It's a lose 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 proposition. If you agree with what I just said, and if you agree that this is a lose 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 proposition, and furthermore, if you believe that your taxpayer dollars should be spent on places where it will make the most difference, and most important of all, if you want to save lives and create a safer society, please help me in the following 2 ways. 1, please send this video link to at least 10 others who may want to hear what I have to say. And 2, please voice your concern with your MP, or better yet, voice your concern directly to Minister Bill Blair. And if you can convince voters in his Ontario Scarborough riding to voice their concerns directly to Bill Blair, that will definitely be a bonus. And the message wouldn't have to be long. You can simply say, I would like to see my tax dollars being spent on more effective measures than buying someone else's used guns. That's all you have to say. So please help me spread this message. And it doesn't really matter which party your MP belongs to. A good policy should win support across the party lines. And finally, why am I doing this? Well, not only because I'm a proud gun owner, I'm also a father of a daughter, and the most important of all, I want a safer Canada as well.